There's two things to keep in mind when it comes to food safety: time and temperature. When it comes to temperature, you can't go wrong with a food thermometer. This is especially helpful for all your proteins to make sure they're cooked to the right temperature. I like a style of thermometer that has the temperatures listed on there, so there's no guesswork. If you have a different style thermometers that doesn't give you the readings and indications for different types of proteins, you can just quickly ask a voice assistant. I do that all the time. I'm like, hey, you know, whatever you have, Siri, Alexa. Sorry, I said their names. Are they listening? Say the name and then just ask the question, hey, what's the proper temperature for chicken? What's the proper temperature for a hamburger? And you'll get a result, so you never have to guess. But this one has poultry listed on there. You want to get that to 165. Ground meat, of course, is 160. And then the temperatures for well, medium, and medium rare are on here too, so it makes it really convenient. And I've started to use this a lot more. I've been a cook my whole life doing the intuition cooking. Never had any issues, but when it comes to feeding your friends and family, cookout, barbecue, party, Tuesday dinner, you wanna make sure things are cooked properly, so a thermometer is key. I've even seen refrigerator magnets that have proper temperatures listed. You put it on the side of the fridge as a quick reference. So there's so many ways that you can help yourself in the kitchen cook things to the right temperature. When it comes to storing your food, of course, we keep everything in our refrigerator, but it's hard to know exactly what temperature, or if your refrigerator is at the right temperature. It needs to be below 40 for proper food storage. So I like this thermometer. This one's color coded, so if the needle's in the red, I know that something's going wrong. Many older refrigerators just have zones you set your refrigerator to, not a specific temperature. So it's like cold, colder, less cold. That all depends on how full your refrigerator is. So a thermometer is a surefire way to know your fridge is in the proper zone. Not too cold, not too warm. And this is a handy gadget you can just pick up, keep in your refrigerator just to keep an eye on the temp. I'm actually gonna throw this in the fridge right now. When it comes to your leftovers, the FDA's rule is about 2 hours. As soon as it comes off of heat, you have 2 hours until it needs to be refrigerated, and you want it to cool down pretty quickly. Usually when I'm done with food, I'll put it in a container, make sure it's not warm before I put it in the refrigerator, and make sure I store it in time well under that 2 hour limit. Now, if you're outside, maybe at a picnic, they recommend an hour to keep food out at warmer temperatures, especially like during the summer. So just keep an eye on your leftovers, make sure they're not sitting out. I mean, we're all guilty of it. The classic example is, you know, in college, you leave a pizza out and the next morning you have a slice of pizza. I'm sure we've all been there, but try to make sure that you keep things refrigerated under that 2 hour limit. The last place that may trip you up when it comes to food safety is thawing food. When something comes out of the freezer, especially proteins and meats, you wanna make sure you're thawing them properly. You can throw it in the microwave, that's a quick thawing method, but I feel like the microwave doesn't give you the best results and texture for your food afterwards, so that's just kind of in a rush scenario. The best method, you're gonna wanna put this in the refrigerator, so plan ahead the night before, the day before, just throw your frozen food in the refrigerator on a plate, on a dish, so it doesn't drip, just in case. The in-between method that I use quite a lot is thawing under water. You wanna make sure you have cold water. You wanna also make sure any food that you're thawing is in a sealed plastic bag. I use reusable ones, or you can use a zip top bag like this. Make sure your food's in there, because you don't want that water to get in contact with the food. Seal it up. It's even nicer if your food's already in a freezer bag that is already sealed. Then I'll make sure it's in a bowl using cold water, or get some ice water if your water's not quite cold. You don't want anything warm to touch this. That cool water will help rapidly thaw this, but in a safe manner. But my advice, when in doubt, just make sure to defrost or thaw your food in the refrigerator. And our temp in our fridge is looking good. Food safety does not have to be difficult, and take the help of some handy gadgets to make it even easier and foolproof.